everybody! Welcome to the Jayda InStitches show. It was time for something cute. I love cute things, and I know a lot of you do too. So today on the show, I have got a really cool visual pattern for you to make this. This is a very functional, super adorable zipper bunny pouch. Zipper, you say? Why, yes. It zips up. This is an actual zipper pouch, and I'm going to show you how you can add a zipper to your crocheted goods today. It's all done by hand. There's no need to use a sewing machine. In fact, when you put zippers into things using hand stitching, you have a lot more control over it. So this is a really easy project, so don't be intimidated. It also uses stitches and techniques that we've already covered on the show, and I'll have links for all the appropriate tutorials in the description box down below. So hit that show more button and you'll see all of them drop down just like a scroll. And as a side note, if you have trouble making the little ears that I demonstrate in today's tutorial, you can use the bunny head pin pattern tutorial that we did a while ago, and you can follow along as I make the ears, and you can use those ears for your bunny pouch. And they look absolutely adorable too. So we're going to do that today. Why make a cute little bunny pouch? Well, other than the fact that it's super adorable, this is the perfect size for slipping into your backpack or your purse. You can keep your makeup in it, you can keep your crochet hooks in it, stickers, school supplies, whatever you might need. And if you're a little person and you don't carry a big purse yet, well, you can have mommy add a strap and you have a little bunny purse instead. Honestly, what's cuter than this? So that's what we're going to do today on the show. We are going to make a zipper, bunny, pouch, or mini purse. It's entirely up to you. So without further ado, let's get started. For my bunny pouch, I'm using a 4-ply worsted weight cotton yarn. Cotton is hard wearing, so it's a good choice for this kind of project. I'm using a 15 centimeter or 6-inch zipper, but if you've got a zipper that's up to 7 inches, that's okay too. A 4.25 millimeter crochet hook or G6, pair of scissors, a yarn needle. You're going to want some embroidery floss and a matching needle in order to sew in your zipper. I'm also using scrap yarn for my facial features, but you can use felt, buttons, beads, or anything else you've got lying around. You're going to start with a slip knot. Make sure it moves around on your hook comfortably, and then chain 21. We begin row 1 with a half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. You're going to half double crochet in each chain across, and you'll have 20 stitches by the end of row 1. Chain 1 and turn. For row 2, you want to start by working 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. Work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 18 stitches. That will bring you up to the last stitch, and work 2 half double crochets into the last stitch. So if you look at the picture here, your first and last stitches are going to push out a little bit. At the end of row 2, you'll have 22 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For rows 3 to row 8, you're going to half double crochet in each stitch across. So you're going to have a total of 22 stitches at the end of each row for rows 3 to row 8. Remember to chain 1 and turn at the end of every row. Row 9, we want to close in our edges a little bit, so we're going to half double crochet the first 2 stitches together, half double crochet across to the last 2 stitches, and half double crochet 2 together across the last 2 stitches. So you'll be back to 20 stitches in total at the end of row 9. Chain 1, but don't turn your work. Now you want to single crochet around the entire piece. You've got 9 rows here, so you're going to work 9 to 10 single crochets on each raw side, a single crochet in each stitch across the top and the bottom, and you're not making corners. This is one long, uninterrupted row of single crochet. You're essentially taking this rectangle and trying to make it look a little more like an oval. And it's going to pouch up on you a little bit, but that's exactly what you want. Join with a slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet, and you can fasten off and weave in that end. Now, make one exactly like the first. You want two exactly alike. One is the front and one is the back. Now we're going to make the ears. We're going to begin with a cinch circle and work 6 single crochet into that circle. Cinch the circle tightly shut and work directly into the next stitch. In this stitch, you're going to work 2 single crochet and then 1 single crochet into the stitch after that. You're going to repeat 2, 1, 2, 1 around 3 times, and that will give you a complete total of 9 stitches in row 2. Now for row 3, you're going to work 2 single crochet into the next stitch and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So the repeating pattern is 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. You do that around 3 times and you'll have a total of 12 in row 3. Now we're just going to single crochet straight. So for rows 4 through 8, you're going to single crochet in each stitch around. Each row will have a total of 12 stitches in it. Row 9 is a decrease row. We're going to begin by single crocheting 2 stitches together, single crochet once into each of the next 2 stitches, and then repeat. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. You're going to do that 3 times, and you're going to drop your stitch count from 12 to 9. So at the end of row 9, you will have 9 stitches. For rows 10 and 11, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So each row will have a total of 9 stitches in it. And at the end of row 11, you can slip stitch into the next stitch, fasten off, and leave a long tail for sewing your ear to your bunny pouch. After you've made 2 ears, you can grab your yarn needle and some white yarn and bring the yarn up through from the inside of your ear, somewhere near the bottom, and whip stitch 7 or 8 times to create that inner ear effect. When you're done, bring the yarn back out of the bottom of the ear, knot your ends together, and stuff everything back up inside the ear. You want to make 2 eyes now. You can cut them out of felt, you can use buttons, you can even use googly eyes if you've got them lying around. I simply made mine out of spare yarn. I made a cinch circle and chained 2 instead of just 1, and worked 8 half double crochet stitches all the way around, cinched it shut, joined with a slip knot, and then left a long tail for sewing my eye to the front of my bunny pouch. You can add a little glimmer to each eye with your yarn needle and your white yarn. Just whip stitch 2 or 3 times in the corner of each eye between the center and the outside of 1 stitch. Now you can sew on the eyes and embroider some eyelashes if you're so inclined. I've placed the ears where I will eventually want to sew them down, just to get an idea of how the face is going to look. You can take some time now to finish decorating your bunny's face. I've whip stitched in some blushes, but you can also add a nose, a mouth, or any other kind of decorations you think your bunny might need. Next, we're going to add in the zipper. We're going to do this one side at a time. So grab the front of your bunny pouch and pin the zipper on the underside of the top edge of the front of your bunny pouch. So you can see that the little zippery part of the zipper is just peeking out over top of the edge of the bunny pouch. But you want to make sure that it's pinned in place fairly evenly across the top. Go ahead and sew along the pinned edge with your embroidery floss and needle. Here's a close-up of what the stitches are going to look like. I've put them in just underneath the top lip of the front of my bunny pouch, so just along the top edge there. And it's just the teeth, or the zippery part, of the zipper that are going to show once the whole thing is put together. I flipped it over so you can get an idea of what it looks like on the inside. There's all the stitching I did, and of course it's not great, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to show. And it's right underneath the edge of the teeth. So that's where you want to make sure it's sewn down. I've gone all the way from one end of the zipper all the way to the other. So this half is now completely sewn on. Now we're going to do the other side. You want to line up the front and back pieces so that they're perfectly aligned. This might take a little bit of fiddling. You might want to pin it, repin it, make sure that they both match up nice and neatly before you sew the zipper down. And as you can see here, it's just the teeth of the zipper that are showing even before I've sewn my last piece into place. Here's what it looks like on the inside. I haven't done the sewing yet, it's still just pinned, but I've taken a lot of care to make sure that both the front and the back line up neatly. There might be a few stitches off, it doesn't really matter, you can sort of frog it when you're sewing the rest of it together, but you want to make sure it's as even as possible. This is how it will look when you've got the back piece sewn into place. You can't see the stitches, only the teeth of the zipper are showing, and it's starting to look a lot more like a little pouch. Here's another look at it from the inside. I've tried in both cases to get the stitching as close to the teeth of the zipper as possible. This will ensure that it's just the teeth that are showing from the outside and not a whole lot of zipper. Now we're going to put the zipper pouch together. You've got two choices here. You can single crochet around the open edge like I'm about to do, or you can sew around the open edge using your yarn needle and some extra yarn. It's entirely up to you. But here's where you want to start. I've got my hook running between both sides, so a stitch from each side because you're going to work through both of them, and it's right over top of the bottom of the zipper. So that little metal piece that marks the bottom of the zipper, that's where I'm going to start my seam. Steadily work your way around the outside edge, working through both the front and the back pieces at the same time. If you find that they don't completely line up, then you can cheat it. Use one stitch a couple times or cheat a couple together, whatever you need to do. It really won't show in the end. Once you get about halfway around, open up your zipper because it'll make it easier to finish, and then work your last stitch about on top of where your zipper foot is. So not right on top of it, you don't want it to be in the way of trying to open your zipper pouch, but right where those little two metal bits are. That should be your last stitch. Okay, hard part's done. Now all you have to do is decide where you want to put your ears and sew them into place using the long tail you left behind. Make sure you work through both sides of the ear, but only sew it to one side, the front side of your bunny pouch. You don't want to be in the way of opening up that zipper.
If you're adding a strap to your little bunny purse, you just want to attach your yarn right where you finished off your attachment seam, chain as many as you need. I did about 120 here. Attach back on the other side, so right in the top of the same place where you started your attachment stitches, and then slip stitch all the way back. And then once you've gotten back to the end, you can slip stitch right into that stitch where you joined and weave in your edges, and you're all done. And that is a bunny pouch or purse, depending on whether you add a strap or not. You can also bling this out to your heart's content. I went and added a cute little mouth. You can add some star buttons or maybe some beads. You can put a little bow on her. You can just keep going and going and going. This little bunny needs to be customized to suit your bunny tastes. And that is it for the show this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Remember, you can share this tutorial with all of your crafty friends on all of the socials, and you can like it and subscribe if you haven't already, and join us here at the Big Crafty family, and don't miss another episode of the Jayda InStitches show. We will see you again very soon, everybody. Remember to stay crafty, stay safe, and have an awesome crafty week. Bye!